Welcome to our series today from KCSE to Nursing. This is Bachelor of Nursing and this is your Kenyan high schooler. And therefore, if you're thinking to pursue nursing as a career, then this is your perfect video and let's get started. In each of our video, we start by asking ourselves a few questions. Our first question today is, what is nursing as a career and am I ready for it? What are the admission requirements to study nursing in Kenya? What are the costs and where can I enroll? What are the stages and duration of pursuing a nursing degree in Kenya? And what career opportunities can one explore in nursing? Actually, do you know that nursing is not just fitted in a hospital setup? We have so many other ways that you can actually become a nurse and utilize this degree. Be sure to watch the very end to get insights of the same. Let's get started. What is nursing as a career? Nursing is a profession that is focused on caring for individuals, families, and communities to help them recover to optimal health. Okay, type of nurses, and one of those is the registered nurse. So these registered nurses are the ones who provide general care in hospitals, in clinics, or in homes. Okay, then we have specialist nurses that will focus on specific areas like pediatrics, that is dealing with the disease of the children, emergency care you'll find in the emergency setups or the surgery. Then you have what we call a nurse practitioner. So these ones can actually diagnose and treat illnesses often independently. So they like learn themselves independently. So they are nurse practitioners. They are not mostly common in our country, but yeah, we have this type of nurses because we are looking at nursing as in the world, in the eyes of the world, and not just in the eyes of our country. Let's move forward. So nurses will administer medications, okay, monitor patients' health, provide emotional support, and educate patients as well. So what are they going to educate patients on? Health management and so forth and so on. So why choose nursing? Because nursing is in high demand, especially in the world. You can bear that. You can bear me witness. I mean, nursing is the hot cake of our times. It is a rewarding career because you are in a position to help others. And it offers diverse career paths and job security, as we shall see. We have so many pathways you can actually take with this particular career. Oh my goodness, you will like it. Just watch the very end and you'll be able to, get to see what I'm talking about. So you've sat down, you've seen that you are capable of doing nursing, you are interested in it. Wow, so what are the admission requirements? What is expected of me to actually take up this role? So we have what we call a direct entry. Okay, a direct entry according to the rule is that you need to have a minimum KCC grade of a C plus. However, the competition is real. Hence, we encourage you to score highly because what will throw you off the balance is the competition. If someone comes with an A minus, someone with a B plus, someone with an A plane wants to do this particular course in a certain university, they will be given the first priority. And therefore, in as much as the mean grade is C plus, then competition is real. So how do we come up with that particular competition? It is the work of groups to actually calculate your points using what we call raw marks. Okay, so how are these raw marks calculated? So three things come into consideration. Actually, two things. We have the overall grade, okay, which is now the A minus, the B plus, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you may have an A of 84, 83, 82, 81. This one will come into play a lot of the C plus or whatever you have will come into play to be able to give us a cutoff point. This is just an example of a cutoff point. So this cutoff point is generated from these what we call cluster subjects. Cluster subjects are subjects that have been set aside by a certain regulatory body in order to provide the basic requirements for anyone who is willing to pursue a certain course to undertake them. So you cannot be able to do nursing if you don't have these courses. You must have done biology, you must have done chemistry, you must have done either physics or mathematics or English or Kiswahili. They will take one of these, and these are the cluster subjects. So once they take these four, each has 12 points, okay, according to what you have. So if you had an A in biology, that will be 12 points. If you had an A minus, that is 10 points. If you had a B plus, A minus 11, B plus 10 points, etc. etc. So now they will take that. It's a formula that NEC uses, although people say that it is out there, but they are only ones who know that formula because they use raw marks. Okay, you might have actually two people with A planes, an A plane of 85 in mathematics, and another A plane of 100 the same mathematics. Those are two different people, and those raw marks will come into play when calculating these cutoff points. So these cutoff points will be calculated from your cluster subjects and from your overall grade together with the raw marks. And this is when I will give us the cutoff points. And this is what will tell you that with this you cannot be able to do nursing in University of Nairobi, but you can be able to do nursing in Maseno or nursing in, let's say, Kwaya. So that is Catholic University, because of that competition. And the higher competition in a certain university, the higher we have the cutoff point. Okay, I think that home is direct entry. So this is a direct entry, and this is where most of us actually get into the university using. That is the direct entry. You can have other pathways. We have an alternative pathway where we have diploma holders. So if you have a diploma in nursing or related health field, you may apply for bridging programs or credit transfer into the in nursing program. Okay, and if you have a degree holder as well in relevant science degree, biochemistry, you may also apply for the credit transfer or advanced entry programs. We have requirements for foreigners as well. You must have met equivalent qualifications in your high school system, e.g. A levels or the international standards. You obtain a certificate of equivalency from NEC, and you must also show a proficiency in English, and we advise that you apply directly to the universities as fast as you can, because these positions are usually very few, and you must book your spot the earliest possible as you can. Okay, so I am satisfied. I want to do nursing. Oh, sorry, this is a mistake. I want to do nursing. So where do I do this particular nursing in? So you have universities that actually offer nursing here. This is public universities: University of Nairobi, Moi University, Kenyatta, Egerton, JKUAT, Maseno Muliro, Kisii University, Chuka, Jomo Kimathi, Kenya Methodist, Mount Kenya, Kwea, Kabarak, Daystar. We have others like Masai Mara, Pwani, Kibabii, Karatina, Great Lakes University, Kabarak. There's so many in Kenya. Those universities will actually offer nursing. So how do you now go to these universities? There are two ways you can actually enroll in these universities. One of those ways is through course, and we've generally talked about it. This will be through the exams. Okay, so course can actually fit you in any of these universities if you have fit the competition. If you are part of the competition, if you're not part of the competition, you've been through off balance, but you still meet the requirements. That is, you have a C plus and above, and you apply early enough. You can get to these programs through what we call self-sponsorship. This self-sponsorship has two ways. Either locally, you are a Kenyan, or foreigners. So that is the only way you can be able to study nursing in Kenya. Okay, and by this, we actually mean that you need to apply early enough, as we shall see. So how is the sponsorship? We have what we call a government sponsorship. So there's what we call a quota per university. That each public university has a limited number of government-sponsored slots, usually allocated by quotas. Okay, and the number varies yearly based on the national need and the funding. For instance, the University of Nairobi may admit 100 to 150 government-sponsored students, while small universities may only admit 30 to 60 students in Bachelor of Nursing alone. That means that, for instance, if you apply to join UN and you are not really competitive in terms of your grade, then you might not really get a position, because government only takes very few, and you can see what it does in these universities. So we say that you need to apply, have hopes in COOPs, but in the same time, if it can be possible, go on and apply for the self-sponsorship. Okay, that's why I think that private universities only admit self-sponsored students. That is important to note. So what about self-sponsorship? You're going to be fully funded by a parent, a guardian, or a financial institution. Okay, then you have to apply direct to the university. You have to apply early. This is why I usually emphasize in most of our series. If at all you're going to apply for this, especially these science programs, ensure you apply early enough. These slots are usually very few, and it is a first come, first serve basis, in as much as they're also looking on merit. Universities like University of Nairobi are usually filled by the first month, second month after the release of the results. So when you just dilly-dallying there and all the posts are gone, so be careful on that and apply as early as you can, as much as you still wait for the COOPs to give you responses. Okay, so how is the cost like? The cost for the locals is 2024 is slightly from 250,000 to 650,000. Those are tuition fees only. Of course, you have other fees like things like housing, food and other affairs of staff, they are not calculated. These are just tuition fees and the other miscellaneous costs that you still be required to pay. For the foreigners, it's from 4,000 US dollars going and above. But as always say, confirm from previous websites, universities keep on changing because these are not static figures. But this is just but a rough estimate and a range as that is concerned. So, what's the duration of the degree? I mean, I've been interested in nursing. I have the requirements. I've met the requirements. I have now gotten to university. So, how long am I going to study this course? And we think that the standard duration is 4 years, including 1 year of internship. Okay, and what really happens here? We start with what we call preclinical years. In your first and second year, you're going to focus on the fundamental sciences, e.g., anatomy. Anatomy, you're going to be dealing with the how the body is, the structure of the body itself. Okay, you're going to be dealing with physiology, that is the functioning of the body, and other nursing fundamentals that are very basics for you to understand. You go to the clinical years, which might be your third, fourth year, whereby you know you'll be rotating in hospitals. Okay, then you'll be doing nursing practice and then community health as well in those hospitals. Then you have what you call an internship here. It is supervised. It is a supervised practice in various healthcare settings. Okay, it is compulsory for the licensure by the Nursing Council of Kenya. You cannot practice in Kenya without this license. And you must sit for a licensing exam before practicing as a registered nurse in Kenya. That is set by the Nursing Council of Kenya. So this is a regulatory degree. You must pass through NCK, and that is something that you will have to go as you study this particular course. Okay. So how is the graduation timeline? Students will typically start the program in September of the admission here. Then after 4 years, you will graduate in the November or the December of your final year. Then you will earn the title of nurse. Okay. So let's get to something interesting. I've done my degree. So what next? What am I going to do with my degree? I mean, this is where things start getting even sweeter. People can enroll in so many things, and we start with what we call clinical roles. So with my degree, I can actually become a registered nurse, as we said, to provide direct patient care in hospitals. We just be in a hospital setup clinic, what we have known. That one is common for all of us. What we call the critical care nurse, we will specialize in the ICU, HDU, and all that. With the operating nurse, will assist in the surgical room. Okay, this will be assisting the surgeons and preoperative nurse and so on and so forth. Pediatric nurse dealing with the infants and children. We have a community health nurse that will be dealing with public health programs, providing educational care to the communities. Emergency trauma nurse will work in accident and emergency departments, handling critical injuries and conditions. We have an oncology nurse focusing on the cancer patients, mental nurse providing care for the patients with mental health issues, geriatric nurse will be specializing in care for them elderly. We have a home health nurse who will be providing care to the patients in their homes. Okay, palliative care nurse offered end of life care. You know, there are those people who terminally ill. That is the work of this nurse. Infection control nurse monitor and prevent the spread of infections in healthcare facilities. You can also decide to go to educational roles. You become a nursing, educator, like you are a lecturer, you are a teacher who teaches these students who want to become nurses. You can also become a clinical trainer. You provide practical skills training to nurses who are coming to the hospitals, or you end up becoming a health educator. You work in public health NGOs, passing on issues to disease prevention and so on and so forth. You can also go on to become an administrator. As management, you become a nurse manager or a matron, whereby you oversee a nursing staff in hospital departments. You go to hospitals and you see a certain desk for a matron. You can become that matron. You can be a hospital administrator, manage operations, staff, budgets in healthcare, and so forth and so on. You can become a clinical coordinator. You try and coordinate patient care services in healthcare facilities. You can become a healthcare policy advisor. You work with the government agencies or NGO to implement health policies. Okay. You can also become a specialized nursing roles, e.g., a nurse assist. You deal with the administration and anesthesia to monitor patients during surgery. Okay. You can become a nurse midwife. We are common in this one. We will be, providing prenatal delivery and postnatal care. You can become a nurse practitioner with it. You offer advanced care, including diagnosis of illnesses, dialysis nurse dealing with patients undergoing kidney dialysis, forensic nurse. You deal with criminal investigations by providing medical care and evidence collection for the victims. can also go to do research opportunities as a nurse. You become a clinical research nurse. You conduct and manage clinical trials for new treatments. We have healthy policy researcher. You study and improve healthcare systems and policies. We can become an epidemiology researcher. You investigate patterns and causes of diseases in populations. Okay. We have also so many others. You can get into entrepreneurship opportunities. You open private clinics. That is very, very forward. You can also decide to have a consultancy. You offer specialized advice to healthcare facilities. You can also have medical equipment businesses. Okay, you decide to supply healthcare facilities with essential equipment, or you have a home-based care agency where you provide nursing care services in these particular homes. You can decide to go to these opportunities in NGOs and international organizations whereby you have stuff like Red Cross. Okay, we're talking about WHO, UNICEF, and in the Red Cross you provide emergency response. In WHO you participate in global health initiatives. In MSF, which are the Doctors Without Borders, you work in conflict zones or underserved areas. In AMREF, you support community health projects across Africa, and so forth and so on. Then we have global opportunities that we shall talk about later. So we have advanced studies whereby you can decide to take a master's degree and specialize in certain areas like public health and so on and so forth. You can become a doctor of nursing. You focus on clinical practice and leadership. You can also do a PhD in nursing whereby you engage in academic research. Then you have technology and innovation, whereby you can decide to do telemedicine nurse. These are nurses who provide virtual patient care and consultation. You have heard of these nurses who you just call and you tell them your signs and symptoms and all that, and they'll be able to guide you. Health informatics, where you manage healthcare data, which is very, very, very key actually. We have the AI and robotics. And nurses actually work in integrating robotics and AI into nursing practices. So if you love tech, you can still do nursing and integrate the two of them. We have occupational health nurse who actually deals with ensuring the workplace safety and employee healthy. Finally, we also have the media and the advocacy, where we have health journalists who write or present health related stories for media outlets. We have seen people who are nurses and they are now journalists and they integrate the two very beautifully. We have health advocates who campaign for better healthcare policies and practices. We also, you can become an author or a speaker, you publish books, deliver talks on these particular healthcare topics. Okay, and on the very main part of this is that you can actually go on to have the global opportunities. When we talk about global opportunities, we mean that you can actually get a license to practice abroad. This is what is very, very common with our nurses. Someone studies nurses and goes abroad. So what really happens? You actually find that you have to pass. For instance, to work as a nurse in other countries, you must meet specific licensure requirements. In the USA, we have an examination that we call the National Council Licensure Examination for Registered Nurses. Okay, that is in the USA, and you must meet those state boundaries in order to practice nursing there. So, as much as you still do nursing here, you do an exam to practice there. In the UK, it is called the National. It is called the Nursing and Midwifery Council. Okay, sorry for that. Then in the Australia, it is the Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, AHPRA. Okay, in Canada it is the same to the USA, and then in Middle East countries like Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, we hire nurses from abroad with attractive salaries. Of course, licensing requirements will vary, but exams like prometric are common. So again, this is something that you can take in future in order to continue practicing as a nurse. You can also be a traveling nurse where you involve short-term contracts in different countries or states offering attractive compensations, which is typically 13 to 26 works. So you usually travel for 13 to 26 works, and then you have a paid housing, travel expense and bonus. You work in these places like the US, Canada or Austria, and then you are back to your formal employment. So these are what we call traveling nursing. And then we have medical tourism nurses, whereby we work with patients traveling abroad for specialized treatment. Maybe you have a patient who is going to India, so you actually travel with them so that you offer them services as they wait to undergo surgery and after surgery and so on and so forth. So as you've seen, we have so many career opportunities that we've talked about that you can do with a nursing degree. Therefore, it's a very nice degree. And with that, this takes us to the very end of our video today. don't forget to kindly subscribe, like this particular channel, and don't forget that nursing is a superb career and success in your endeavors. I wish you the very best. Please do subscribe so that we make more of these videos to continue impacting the community. You can tell us what you want us to do next, or what you really want us to stress in our subsequent videos. See you then.